bit.
Right.
Seattle got lucky, but Cam Chancellor, that wasn't a lucky play.
No, nope. We're going to get into that right now. So the Seahawks are now 2-2, and as Stephen A. just mentioned, Seattle is not allowed a touchdown in their last 18 regular season quarters with Cam Chancellor on the field. Stephen A., going into the season, you had Seattle as your Super Bowl pick. Now, through 4 games, has your opinion changed at all seeing this team?
Well, it hasn't changed, but I'm not as resolute in that opinion as I was at the beginning of this season. And the reason why is because of their offense. I picked this team to win the Super Bowl championship for 2 reasons. That elite defense, the Legion of Boom, you know, and all its supplementary parts, the defensive line and so on and so forth. Also, their motivation, because no matter how motivated the New England Patriots are due to Deflategate and the whole fiasco that entailed, the bottom line is they stand here today as the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. And the Seattle Seahawks sit here today as a team who believes it was theirs, and their head coach gave it away by not giving the ball a beast mode a half yard away from the goal line. It is that simple. So I believe the combination of how elite their defense is, Skip, and how motivated they are to resurrect themselves and to make amends for what transpired, basically taking back what they believe belongs to them. The Seattle Seahawks believe they should be standing here right now as the reigning 2-time defending Super Bowl champions, okay? And they believe that it was they gave that away. So they believe it's theirs. That is the reason I picked them. The fact that you got this offense with Jimmy Graham, which I believe is better.
Experiment is not working.
Wait, is he a Seahawk now or not?
Yes.
Listen,
does he dress?
This guy had,
well,
he had 4 catches for 29 yards last night. I'm just saying that it's so anemic, it's so pedestrian, it's so blah, blah. I can't believe it. Now, in defense, Detroit was all over Russell Wilson. I mean, he was running for his life most of the game. They sacked him 6 times. I can't even count how many times they pressured him. They were all over him, and if it wasn't for his elusivity, that's what Clay Matthews meant when he told Colin Kaepernick, "You are no Russell Wilson," because you got to remember, Kaepernick is more like RG3, the old RG3, in terms of he could fly north to south.
That is true.
He can't juke you the way that Russell Wilson is capable of juking you. So that's probably what Clay Matthews meant. And it definitely highlighted itself because they were all over Russell Wilson last night, okay? And he could barely breathe. But I'm still looking at them. And again, Marshawn Beast Mode, he didn't play last night, so we understand that. I'm just looking at this offense, and I'm like, my God, what has happened to y'all? They can't win the Super Bowl with their offense doing as little as they did last night. Granted, Beast Mode didn't play, but they cannot do as much as they did last night and win the Super Bowl. They're still my pick. But their offense has got to play better because this defense is a Super Bowl caliber defense.
No question.
And their motivation is Super Bowl caliber motivation. But their offense has to join the party, and that's not happening yet.
I'm with you. I don't want to go in too hard on that offense because there was no Marshawn.
That's right.
But in a showcase Monday Night Football game, you scored 13 at home, and you allowed Matt Stafford, who hadn't been able to do squat against your defense, to drive almost 91 yards with, what was it, 6:23 remaining.
That's right.
That's a long drive, and you gave up a big play to Golden Tate and one to the expatriate Tim Wright right down the seam, and Cam said, they fooled me with that one. I didn't see that one coming on tape. Okay, but you get it down to within striking distance, and from the 11-yard line, you hit Calvin Johnson, and it looked like, for all the world, he was about to score, and you were about to be in big trouble, even though there was time. There had been 1:45 left for Russell Wilson. Now, is that on the defense? A little bit. I saw a little crack in the foundation there that you gave that up at home in front of that crowd.
Right.
But back to Russell Wilson. The whole offense revolves around a little guy, and he is, I don't usually say little guy, but he's a little guy by NFL standards. He's, what is he, about 5'11", 5'10 and a half?
Quarterback standards, for sure. One of the shortest.
And Stephen A., to your point, his quickness and his downfield speed is staggering to me. It looks he looks quicker than ever. Last night he did, because he had that one great escape in the first half. No one can do what he's been doing on escape plays and then able to throw on the run, running the wrong way. He's running to his left and throws a big completion. But it's a high wire act. And he fumbled twice that hurt them badly. They lost the turnover battle 3-1 and still won the game at home. That's pretty great. And yet, Russell Wilson, if you force him to stand there in that pocket at his diminutive size, he can't see it, and he's not consistently accurate from the pocket. He's, to me, to my eye, he is below average as a pure pocket passer. But if he gets outside, he is absolutely lethal as I've ever seen of anybody outside. He's what Johnny Manziel hopes he can one day become, because he's doing better than, he's Russell football. That's who he is, because he's making plays. And at one point, Gruden said last night, boy, he better not keep doing this, because at some point it's going to catch up with him, but he keeps pulling it off, and I got to give it to him.
It's interesting. He does keep pulling it off. You know what? As I watched Russell Wilson last night, you know what I said to myself? A 3-4 defense is the best way to go against him. Let me explain why. It's almost best that you don't have a pass rush.
You don't need
that
to.
You just keep him in the pocket.
Just don't let him out.
You just don't let him out of the pocket.
I know.
That's all.
I agree.
That's it. Because the more people you send, if he somehow is able to escape, because you're trying to put forth a vicious pass rush, he's gonna eat you up. Because he has that elusivity factor working in his favor. And again, once he gets out of the pocket, he's lethal. But even if he has time, if you make him stand in the pocket and there are bodies in front of him to impede his vision, it obviously affects him like it would affect anybody else who's relatively short inside that pocket. To me, that's the best way to neutralize him. And then this is why Jimmy Graham and Lockett, it doesn't make much sense right now. They're both huge targets. So when all else fails, particularly with a quarterback like Russell Wilson, because of his diminutive size, you can throw it up sometimes. And just throw it in the vicinity. And they should be able to go and get it for you. The fact that none of that is happening is incredibly alarming to me. This offense has become a huge question mark. I can't believe it's going to stay this way, because you got enough weapons, and Lockett and Graham with beast mode. The offensive line plays, even though they gave up a lot yesterday, they can play better, and I believe they will play better. And Russell Wilson obviously can be evasive, but they're going to have to do that to capture a Super Bowl championship. They're going to have to do that to beat Green Bay. They're going to have to do that to beat Arizona.
Right now, they're asking a whole lot of little Russell Wilson to make a couple plays a game that's going to win the game 13-10.
So, Stephen A., you have him going to the Super Bowl, not as strong on it. Skip, you say not so much.
Well, you know who I picked.
Oh, yeah.
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hanging in, but it's going to be a long road.
Some happen with that team. All right, that's a whole other story, though. So there are now 6 undefeated teams left in the NFL. How would you list the Patriots, Falcons, Panthers, Bengals, and Packers from best to worst? Send us your rankings on Twitter using the hashtag #RankTheUnbeatens. Meanwhile, Stephen A. had some strong words on Texas's Charlie Strong future on Mike and Mike and on his radio show. We'll discuss the next move for the Longhorns. That's after the break.
This stuff is such a bad situation. I wasn't wanted down here to begin with. The guys who wanted me and brought me in is gone. And on top of it all, I'm getting out-recruited by Houston, by Baylor. What's there to talk about?